This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking the ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me the golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I've roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. When the sun came shining and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling, as the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said no trespassing. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. This side was made for you and me.
In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the office, I saw my people. As they stood hungry, I stood there asking, this land is made for you and me.
Nobody living can never stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can make me turn back. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Yes, this land was made for you and me. Yes, this land was made for you and me.
We welcome you to Crosswalk. How are you out there? We're so glad to see you. We hope that you have had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. We pray today will be a blessing you do not want to miss. There's so much going on. So much is happening. We're about to hear a word from Pastor Don. We're going to hear from Miss Jennifer. And we've got a message for you as we start a new series this week called Down by the Riverside. Right now, let's hear from Pastor Don.
Well, hi, Crosswalk. It's Dawn Anderson, Associate Pastor. Sure wish I was there to see you in person. But, you know, we're doing the right thing by staying safe and waiting until we get to a better place to reopen. We're thinking of everyone's health. So please stay healthy and take good care of yourself. I wanted to make you aware that along with our wonderful Crosswalk worship and Dee Dee's messages, we are also coming out with literally dozens of new summer classes and small groups. We would love to see you join one. You can just go to llumc.org/classes or watch for the email that's coming out this week. We've got some really exciting topics like angels and spiritual growth and reducing anxiety, all kinds of good teachers. And then we have our wonderful small groups that There's 3 that just come out of Crosswalk called soul groups, where we just kind of take care of each other and catch up with each other. Those are led by Dee Dee, Randall, and myself. So please take a look at our online classes and groups. Think about signing up for one. You know, we're called as Christians not just to be saved once and then sit comfortably, but to keep growing, getting deeper, growing closer to God. And that has been my prayer for this whole pandemic, that I hope you are finding ways of growing deeper in your Christian walk than maybe you've ever done before, and feeling God's Spirit in a mighty way working through you, maybe finding more time for prayer and silence. And I know that's what's keeping me going, so I hope it will be you too. And I can't wait to see you again, and just think how wonderful when we get to worship in person again will be. I can't wait to give you a hug. All right, God bless. Take care. Bye.
I love watching fireworks. It's one of my very favorite things to do. They bring me so much joy. I love the way fireworks fill the sky. And something I've noticed, fireworks don't have any boundaries. They're there for everyone to see. There's a verse in Habakkuk that says, "The whole earth will be filled with the knowledge and glory of the Lord." The whole earth. I picture the hope and the love and the joy and the grace of the Lord just filling the sky, just like the fireworks do. And just like the fireworks don't have any boundaries, neither does the love and the joy and the hope and the grace of the Lord. They're for everyone. And that's something we can celebrate every day.
All right. Come on, Crosswalk. Are you ready? Right there, wherever you are. If you're on the lake, I know some of you are out on the lake today. Maybe you're at home. Bring the kids in. I'm ready to worship. How about you guys? You ready? Come on, Pocket. Kick us off, girl. Let's go. Woo! Here we go. Dead man walking, slave to sin. Here we go. Ready? Dead man walking, slave to sin. I want to know about being born again. I need you. Oh, God, I need you. Here we go now. So take me to the riverside. Take me under baptize. I need you. Oh, yes. So, God, I need you. 'Cause your forgiveness is like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. It's like the sound of a symphony to my ears. It's like holy water on my skin. use your grace. God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me want to change. Come on now. I don't want to abuse your grace. God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me want to change. Yes. I don't want to abuse your grace. God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me want. One more time, here we go. I don't want to abuse your grace. God, I need it every day. It's the only thing that ever really makes me want to change. Your forgiveness. It's like
Sweet, sweet honey on my lips.
It's like the
Sound of a symphony to my ears.
It's like holy water. Your forgiveness. It's like
Sweet, sweet honey on my lips.
it's like the
Sound of a symphony to my ears.
it's like holy water on my skin. Father, we welcome you wherever we are today. We welcome you.
God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time. With no point of reference, you spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of light. And as you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born. In the vapor of your breath, the planets form. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you've made. Every burning star, a signal fire of grace. If creation sings your praises, so will I. So will I. God of your promise, you don't speak in vain, no syllable empty or void. For once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. And as you speak, 100 billion creatures catch your breath, evolving in pursuit of what you say. If it all reveals your nature, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you say. Every pain night sky, a canvas of your grace. Your creation still obeys you, so will I. So will I. If the mountains bow in reverence, so will I. If the oceans roar your greatness, so will I. For if everything exists to lift you high, so will I. If the wind blows where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. If the sum of all our praises still falls shy, then we'll sing again 100 billion times. God of salvation, you chased down my heart through all of my failure and pride. On a hill you created, the light of the world, abandoned in darkness to die. And as you speak, 100 billion failures disappear. Where you lost your life so I could find it here. If you left the grave behind you, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you've done. Every part designed in a work of art called love. If you gladly chose surrender, so will I. See your heart a billion different ways. Every precious one, a child you died to save. You gave your life to love, and so will I. Like you would again 100 billion times. What measure could amount to your desire? You're the one who never leaves the one behind.
Father God, the God that never leaves the one behind. We open ourselves up to your word today. We invite you to speak to us. We invite you to move through us, God. We thank you for the words that you've given our sister Dee Dee. Prepare our hearts for what you have planned today. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Woo. Thank you, guys. Hey, let us know you're out there. We want to hear from you. So many people, Lee, are saying how much they love you, how much that is their favorite song. And I have to be honest, that's one of my absolute favorite songs. If you left the grave behind you, God, then so will I. Leah, I love you and I'm so proud of you. I never want to quit telling you how proud I am, and I know your mama is too. Hey, Viv. Hey, Mike. Hey, Amy. Steph. Hey, Baby Kay. Hey, Miss Mary. Bruce and Dave. Woo. Hey, Michelle, all the way from Northern Ireland, I love you. Give the babies a big hug. Let them know that their American auntie loves them very, very much. So guys, I'm excited because y'all are going to help me today do my sermon. I'm excited. The whole band are here today to help me. We start a new series called Down by the Riverside. And it is based on the old spiritual, sung many years ago as a work song in the South. It dates back to the American Civil War, but remained unpublished until 1918, when it was included in Plantation Melodies, and it's a collection of modern and popular old-time spirituals. The song is pretty cool. So when we do it this month, and you'll hear it all month long, you'll remember that the song refers to biblical imagery such as baptism, the white robe, the River Jordan, the Prince of Peace, and of course, heaven. This series is based on a book by a gentleman named William Sloane Coffin, who was a pastor of Riverside Church in New York City. So we are going to go down by the Riverside this month, and I'm so excited because some of these songs are songs that I grew up on, but I'm going to talk about that in a minute. You're going to hear stories from William Sloane Coffin. You're going to hear stories from Martin Luther King. You're going to hear stories from some of the greatest writers of our time. You do not want to miss this series. And today, we're talking about a topic that is sensitive for us all. We're talking about patriotism, and what does that mean? This is July 4th weekend. We celebrate our country. And for some of us this year, that looks different for many different reasons. So I wanted to tell you what patriotism meant to me. And when I began to think about this, Rafe, it reminded me, and so the title of my sermon is what it reminded me of, is what I learned about patriotism from East Texas, music, and a jam session. Now stay with me for just a minute, because I think it will all come together. And before we get started, I want to read our Bible verse, and I love this verse because it comes from 2 Chronicles 7:14. It goes like this. It says, if my people, that's all of you. So just know that when he says my people, that's all of you. If my people who belong to me will humbly pray, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. So what did I learn from East Texas? What did I learn from the music of East Texas? And what did I learn from a giant jam session? Well, when I was a kid, many of you know I started singing with my mom when I was about 2. I started singing full-time with her when I was 8. But there's one date in particular that I remember more than any date that we ever did and concert that we do, because it did not matter where our bus was on July 3rd or July 5th, but on July 4th, we would be in East Texas. Did not matter where we were. If we had to drive all night long to get there, we would drive all night long, but the bus headed to East Texas. We would pull up in this little town, set up at this fire station. It was the coolest thing, Ray. It was old school fire station. It was huge. And they would put a stage up for us. But guys, it was hot. It was so hot you could fry an egg on the concrete kind of hot. Do y'all know that hot? Hot. It's Texas hot. East Texas muggy. My hair would grow. I would look like a generic Q-tip by the time it was over. It was no lie. It was huge. And that really is true. But we would set up, and the next thing you know, Rafe, there were about 35 to 40 musicians and singers sitting up there, outside. And then people would just come together from all over East Texas, and they would set up their lawn chairs out in the field, out on the parking lot, out in the middle of the road. They would just set up chairs everywhere. And all of the musicians, all of the singers would gather. And they were not just your typical musicians. They were the best of the best. every race, every age, men, women pocket. Every age, veterans, young ones that had no concept of what it meant to be a veteran. And we would sit up there, and I was in awe because I was this little kid. I was just in awe. I learned what instruments were that I had never seen before. And then all of a sudden, something magical would happen. Sometimes we hadn't seen each other when we would get together, but we're all over the U.S., but we would come together. And something magical would happen. There would be this really, really respectful, professional moment. There wasn't a one-man show or a one-woman show. It was just the best of the best coming together to make music, to celebrate our country. And down by the Riverside was no doubt one of the songs that we would sing. So that's kind of what made me think about that. So let's do a little bit of that so people know what that song, if you don't know that song, we'll do a little bit of it. It goes like this. It goes, I'm gonna lay down my heavy load down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my heavy load down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Here we go. This is the chorus. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 And then I remember usually Mr. Brock would open with that one. He always would open that. And then they would look over at my mom and they'd say, all right, Miss Merle, we want you to sing the next one. So I don't know if many of you remember the old songs. A lot of our spirituals came years and years and years ago. And then they were published in several publishings, but then they were in a book called Songs of Inspiration. And so one of those songs would sound something like this. Living below in this so sinful world. There you go. Hardly a comfort can afford. There you go. Yes, striving alone, to face temptation so. Where could I go but to the Lord? Now this is the chorus. It goes like this. Sing it with me if you know it. Where could I go? Oh, where could I go? Seeking a refuge for my soul. Oh, yes. Striving alone to face temptation so. Where could I go but to the Lord? Now then, there was Mr. Teetsy, and I loved him. I called him Tootsie when I was little, but his name was really Mr. Teetsy. And he had this instrument that was the shiniest instrument I had ever seen. Y'all, it was the coolest thing. They called it a dobro. And I've never seen anybody that could play this like Mr. Teetsy. And a dobro is like an upside down silver guitar. And it is shiny and it is pretty. Or at least it was to this little girl. And I remember he would set it in his lap and you played it like you did a steel guitar. And when Mr. Teetsy would start, he would do swing low. Yeah, play that dobro. Give me just a little bit there, Joaquin. There you go. Sweet chariot. There you go. Coming for to carry me home, sweet Lord. I can't do it like Mr. Teetsy can. sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. You ready? Here we go, Monica. Oh, why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Rock me, Lord, rock me, Lord. Coming easy. I got a home on the other side. Yeah. And I can't do that like Mr. Tsitsi did, Monica. Then, Rafe, my favorite part is when we would sit at this jam session. And I don't know if you've been to East Texas. East Texas has the most gorgeous, tall trees. Beautiful. Thick, but it just made it hotter. There was no breeze. But all of a sudden, we'd get to this section of this jam session, and it was like a new breeze blew in. It was beautiful. And then you would hear on the side, you would hear, oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of gray, for purple mount majesty, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. I'll never forget those times. What I learned from East Texas, what I learned from music, and what I learned from those 4th of July jam sessions every year, I learned patriotism at its best is when we humble ourselves knowing we have differences. Knowing that we all experience it differently, but we can have differences. Because of this nation, the land of the free, and because of the brave, you don't have to be like me, and I don't have to be like you. The brave of every color, the brave of those that stood for our nation's freedom, and the brave that knew the real price of freedom. Rafe, I'll never forget how we would make music together for hours, where all the forces of talent, experience, love, care came together and brought the perfect tribute to what America really is about. America is about us all. It's about us all. One nation under God. Not several, but one nation under God. William Sloane Coffin, he said it like this. He said, there are 3 kinds of patriots. 2 bad, 1 good. The bad ones are the uncritical lovers and the loveless critics. Good patriots carry on a lover's quarrel with their country, a reflection of God's lover's quarrel with all the world. Just because we all don't agree doesn't make us any less of a patriot. Did you know that you can love each other and still not agree? Did you know that? I don't have to agree with you to love you, and you don't have to agree with me to love me. I am learning every day to listen to those that I may not agree with, because in those places that I am learning to understand what I didn't know. One of my favorites in the book from William Sloane Coffin comes from a lady named Catherine Lee Bates. Now follow me on this one. How do you love America? It's a question. Don't say my country, right or wrong. That's like saying my grandmother, drunk or sober. It doesn't get you anywhere. Don't just salute the flag, and don't burn it either. Wash it. Did you hear that? Wash it. Make it clean. How do you love America? With the vision and compassion of Christ, with a transcendent ethic that alone can fulfill the patriot's dream, that sees beyond the years, her alabaster cities gleam undimmed by human tears. Miss Catherine Lee Bates. Beautiful words. What I learned from East Texas, music and a jam session, is it takes us all. Those sessions would not have been the same with one or two people. It was when we all sat down together, all ages, all races, all gender, we all sat down together, that magic happened. And when magic happened, the Spirit of God moved, because He used all of our efforts. He used all of the humbleness. He used every single person in the place, which was outdoors. Once again, 2 Chronicles, if my people who belong to me will humble and pray, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. I'm aware, guys. I'm completely aware we are in strange times. Living through a pandemic, racial tension, in a place that our country seems so divided. And then I'm reminded when I get to those places that it feels overwhelming and I don't know what to say, and it feels like, is this ever going to end? Then I'm reminded of two words: but God. You see, here's the thing. Regardless of how I feel, God is never surprised. None of what's going on right now is God surprised about. God is not leaving us here to just deal or deal with each other. God has called us to love each other. And now, more than ever, He has called us to join together. And joining together doesn't mean that I always agree. It doesn't mean that you will always agree. God made you different. God made me different. But here's the deal, guys. We're all made by God, and you better watch it. Because He's going to put you next door to that person in heaven. Build your big mansion right next to that person you didn't like. Because it doesn't matter what our opinions are. It matters who our God is. If we are not listening to one another, that just puts us in a place of arrogance and not humbleness. And God says, if you humble yourself, I will heal your land. Humbleness doesn't mean I give in. Humbleness means I give in to me and I give it to God. See, it's not about always just saluting the flag. And it's not about ever burning the flag. It's about cleaning it together. That is patriotism. It's when we realize it's not the right or the left, but it's looking straight up. It's looking straight up. And knowing that wherever you are, wherever you stand, you are a child of God first and foremost. Did you know you were a child of God before you were Republican or you were Democrat? Did you know that you were a child of God before you were man, before you were woman? And He said, you know what, I love you so much that I'm creating you for a purpose. If we humble ourselves, God will heal. God will touch. And when you humble yourself, it's like this fog comes open from your eyes and you begin to see things in a way that you've never seen them before. So why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? And why should my heart be lonely and long for heaven and home? Think about this. 'Cause with Jesus as my portion, oh, my constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. For His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. And I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I am free. For His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. He hasn't left us. He's not gone. Sometimes lately you've probably felt like He is, and sometimes recently you felt like, God, where are you in the mix of this chaos? Here's the thing about God. He's always there. He's in the mix. He's an ever-present God in times of trouble. The last thing I want to share as we get ready to close today is what I learned from East Texas, good music, and a jam session, is it doesn't take one dime to love somebody. It takes nothing but your willingness to love. It doesn't cost you anything to love. Patriotism at its greatest moment proved that point, and what it meant to love at the greatest level of love and give at the greatest level of giving, and we don't forget that. We thank you for being with us today. We love you. Don't forget, if you're looking for something to do, we have our food ministry, and we need your help to support that food ministry. There is no doubt it takes a lot of money to produce that, and we're up to over 52,000 families that have been fed and over 200,000 pounds of food. It only costs $10 a bag to sustain a family of 5 for 1 week. $10. I figured it up. That's 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. I can feed a family of 5 for 1 week. Come on, guys, we can do this. We can make a difference in this time where it feels like nothing is making a difference, but you are. You are through this food ministry, so please help us. We also need your help in giving to sustain what we are doing here at Lover's Lane. It is important. I know we don't like talking about money, but it takes money to go and make the world go around. So we have 3 ways you can do that. You can mail it to us. We still take snail mail at 9200 Inwood Road, Dallas, Texas 75220. We will get it, mark it. You can also go to our website, that is llumc.org/give. And then we have another really easy way where you can text it to us. You text the word LLUMC to the number 77977. That's LLUMC, Lovers Lane United Methodist Church, to 77977. We also want to remind you that through this month, on the 12th and 26th of July, we are doing panel discussions. And we would like to invite you to sign up for those discussions. These are going to be important times of discussing where our country is today, for you to put your input in, to listen to a panel of wonderful people who speak on this topic. You can go to llumc.org/Riverside to sign up. You do not want to miss either one of these. It's only 2 nights. It's the 12th and the 26th. Sign up today. Crosswalk, we love you. Go down by the Riverside with us this month. Take all the opinions, take everything that's going on in the chaos that's happening in your life right now, lay it down at the Riverside. And let's walk this walk together. Daisha, I love you. Hi, Miss Mary. Hey, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, I can't wait to meet you in person. I feel like I already know you. Carol, it's good to see you. Steph and Baby K. Nora, good morning. I miss you, Nora. We love you. God bless you. Have a happy rest of your weekend. Enjoy the lake. Enjoy time with your family. And we will see you next Sunday. God bless you.
Hey y'all, it's Leah back with the cooking tutorials, and today, you guessed it, we're making cereal. So basically all that you need is a bowl, the cereal of your choice. Mine is Captain Crunch Berries, and milk. So we're just gonna start by opening up the cereal box. I chose Captain Crunch Berries out of all of the cereals we have in our pantry because I think it has the most flavor and it's extremely colorful with all of the berries. So we're just gonna pour, depending on how hungry you are, that's the amount you'll pour. I'm a little hungry, I would say, so we got a good amount in here. Pouring milk has not always been an easy thing in my life, but you gotta do what you gotta do to make cereal. So you're just gonna pour whichever milk you have for the cereal. A fun fact I just learned is that there are berry trees. Where else would berries come from? Once you pour the cereal in the milk, you've pretty much done it. This is pretty simple 1, 2, 3 kind of step process to make this. Grab you a spoon and you're ready to go. And that's it. That's how you make cereal. Make sure to take some sips of water while you're doing this because of all of the energy it takes. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Why can't I talk, Mom? I can't talk. Words aren't forming correctly. Mom?
Hi, music friends. It's great to be with you this week. This month, we're starting a new sermon series called Down by the Riverside. Down by the Riverside is a fantastic old African American spiritual. And those spirituals are a huge part of our American and faith history. So I thought it'd be so fun to learn some of those spirituals each week as we go through this series together. African American spirituals often have two things to be aware of. Number one, they come from a background of a lot of struggle, a lot of hard times. You'll often hear that struggle in the music. The second thing you might hear are themes of hope and freedom, because oftentimes these stories aren't just stories about heaven, but also stories about getting to freedom. And friends, today's is just like that. Today's song is called Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. You may remember this from some preschool music, but this story references a time when a huge chariot of fire came down and picked up Elijah and took him straight to heaven. Pretty cool way to travel, right? So today when we sing, swing low, sweet chariot, I need you to grab onto those chariot reins as you're holding on and riding in that with me. And listen to how this song talks about getting to heaven and having freedom in Christ. Here we go. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home, tell all my friends I'm coming too, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I love that song. And friends, if you want to learn more about that spiritual this week, I'd like to recommend this recording. It's over 100 years old, and it's one of the very first recordings of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot by the Fisk Jubilee Singers in 1909. So, want to learn more about this? Check it out. Have a great week, and we'll see you back here next week.
Good morning and welcome back to Kids Good News, a program dedicated to sharing the news from all around from kids. I'm Violet, one of your hosts.
And my name is Benjamin, and we are so happy you're joining us again this morning. Here's the good news. Today we welcome Pastor Andy and his family to our church. Pastor Andy, Miss Melissa, Elena, Anna, and Elijah. We are so happy you're joining us at our church. Welcome to Lover's Lane.
Anna and Elijah, since we can't show you around and meet in person, we thought the Lover's Lane kids can tell you why you're going to love it here. Let's start with correspondents Jack and Emma.
Thanks, Violet. Kids of all ages at Lover's Lane want to welcome you to the church family. In fact, we do too. My name is Jack.
And I'm Emma.
We think you're going to love it here and find some really good friends, like me.
Let's meet some of them now, like me.
Hi, Anna and Elijah. Welcome to Lover's Lane. We hope you have a great time there, and we're happy to meet you when church opens again. We love you.
Hi, Anna, Elijah. I cannot wait to see you.
Hi, Anna and Elijah. This is Max and I'm Molly, and we just want to say, welcome!
Welcome to our church. Welcome to Lover's Lane.
Welcome to Lover's Lane!
Welcome to Lover's Lane, Anna and Elijah.
Hey, Elijah, I can't wait to meet you.
Welcome, Snom family. We're so glad you're here.
Thanks, kids, for helping us welcome our new friends.
We interrupt this broadcast with a special announcement from Lover's Lane Student Ministry.
Welcome to Lover's Lane, Elena.
Welcome to Lover's Lane, Elena.
Hey Elena, welcome to Lover's Lane.
Hey Elena, welcome to Lover's Lane. I can't wait to meet you.
Welcome to Lover's Lane, Elena and the Nelms family. We are so excited you're here.
It says, Lover's Lane kids, you are loved. Awesome. Look, and there's your name on a bag down there. See what's in that bag?
We brought you a little bit of special swag.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And this is Elena.
Hi.
Come here, Elena. I bet your bag's on, name's on a bag down here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's down there. Look, all that's down by the sweet stuff.
Do you have some kids' good news that should be shared? Email kids@llumc.org and let us know.
Thanks for tuning in today. We hope you had a very great 4th of July. Until next time, stay safe, share love, and remember, keep looking for the good.